Maybe you could explain to the League of Women Voters and to me why those numbers look funny to those of us lay people who don't understand them. How is it that that rail, with all of its stations and new and equipment and tracks to be maintained, can cost less than highways?
When you look at the volume of a concrete and the amount of steel you're going to be needing, basically, and then because the structure size is greater on a managed lane, it costs more. That's one of the fundamental reasons why that has a greater cost.
And the other issue on the total capital costs, that you're dealing with the total capital costs is what you're saying. But what about the other, the 260 million, 1 million versus the 251 million?
Because the both transportation management system alternative as well as managed lane, it would require more buses to provide the same level of service because it doesn't have a high capacity transit as a core. So the cost of the buses offsets the any cost, and therefore it's greater. This is the key to what we've been saying. Yes, the buses can do a lot of the people carrying, but not as effectively as the fixed guideway system. So therefore there's a point that where the maintenance cost is greater on all bus system or system that relies on the buses than the high capacity system.
So even if some of those buses or many of the buses could be utilized both on the streets and on a fixed guideway system, you're saying that it would cost, there would still be a considerable investment in more buses would be needed, even if you balance that with the numbers that are currently used on the streets.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure.
Okay,
what the question
well,
is.
say we have 100 buses right now
Right.
running around the island, and say that 50 of those are going to be used to deliver passengers to the train. Let me just call bus and train for now to
Okay.
make it simple. Okay. If those 50, instead of just delivering to the train, were used in the system, you're saying that we would need X number more to make that system work. That would elevate the cost to higher than if we have to go out and buy all new equipment, train equipment.
I'm sorry, I lost you on the 50 and 50. 50 buses to serve the rail.
No, I'm just using that as an example. In other words, you're saying that the cost is higher because we would need more buses, and I'm saying, but the lay view of this is that you're buying all new equipment, all new trains, all new rail, all new things. You're not using any part of the existing system with a rail system, as you would be with a bus. As you might be with a bus system. In other words, buses could operate partially on, as they do now, on city streets. But even given that, it would cost more because we would need way more buses and because we would need new kinds of buses?
I think the answer is yes. Can I answer it a little differently, the way
Sure.
I understand it? Currently, we have 525 buses. If we were to build a rail system, we're going to be needing about the same, or let's say round figure, 600 buses. That's to serve, let's say, rail system, as well as providing the other in-town and the express services. But if we were to go with managed lane options, because the individual vehicles will have a lesser capacity and the time is greater to make the run, other than on the managed lane itself, it would require about 850 buses. The difference of 250 buses. So the labor and the maintenance that it would require to operate the 250 buses would offset, and the on an annual cost basis, managed lane cost could be even greater than the fixed guideway option.
So the cost of 250 buses exceeds by 10 million the cost of the entire rail system.
Where do you get 10 million?
Well, isn't that the difference between 261 million and 251 million?
Okay, 260 million is for the larger system. The small system, 20-mile system, is 250. So it's about the same as the
Yeah, but the managed lane estimate is 260.
260. Yeah, that's for the
That's what I'm
reverse
saying.
reverse option running 900 buses. not 850.
Okay, so 300 additional buses cost more than the whole rail system.
In operating cost, yes.
Well, operating or in capital?
No, we're not talking about capital. This is the annual operating cost. Capital, yes, the buses are cheaper, although you'll be buying twice as many buses in the same time period because the buses got shorter lifespan.
Okay. Okay, so in operating 300 additional buses costs more than operating the whole entire rail system.
Cost about the same or more, yes.
Okay, that seems hard to believe, and I think that's where it's hard for a layperson to understand that could be that much difference. Thank you, Mr. Chair.